Good afternoon, everybody. Everyone, welcome back to Tacoma Unscripted. As you can see, and as you can tell by the title, we have a little comparison today. Just kind of curious. We have a Motorola FR50 and we have some Uniden walkie-talkies. Here's the catch. The Motorola's I got for Christmas, and I sat back and I figured up, it was in the late 90s to around 2000. I've had these things for, 23 to 25 years. And the thing with the Motorola is you could get either one of these in a big box store, right? So the Motorola, when I got those, advertised a 2-mile range. And I was digging around, cleaning some stuff out of a cabinet or one of my drawers, just straightening everything up, getting all my GoPro equipment together and everything. And I come across these walkie-talkies. And I thought, well, the Motorola 2-mile range, 23 to 25 years old. Then you have the Uniden. Those Unidens I also got for Christmas, and I figured it up, is around 2017, 2018. So they're 5-6 years old. But the kicker is they advertise a 22-mile range. 2-mile range, 25 years old approximately. 5-6 years old, 22-mile range. And when I got the Motorola's, that was a big deal to have a 2-mile range, right? I mean, that's simply amazing. Well, radios have come a long way, and that's what I want to see today. Do they really get 22 miles? Will they get 2 miles? Now, when you read up on any walkie-talkie, it says for best reception, it'll tell you if you're in the hills or obstacles, that'll cut your range. Well, what we're going to do today or this evening, I'm going to go get my cousin. He's going to assist me in this, and we're going to get on some flat land. I'm up here in the hills. We're going to go off the hill down to some flat land where there's no obstacles, few as possible. We're going to be in the country. It's going to be flat terrain. We're going to see just exactly what these will do, which one will go further. Now, obviously, you would think this would go farther, and it may very well do that. I did check. Basically, what I did is I have a battery tester, and both of these were reading on the low side of good to fair. I just took all the batteries out, and I put fresh batteries in. So each of these walkie-talkies has fresh batteries. So we're going to be pushed 100% battery life. We're going to be flat terrain, very limited, if any obstacles. We're going to see which one will do the best. I'm curious to see. We'll be back, and let's test them out. We're back. I've got my cousin Kyle with me.
Howdy.
As I told you on the preview before, we're going to test out the walkie-talkies to see which one does the furthest. He's going to be in his truck. I'm going to be in my truck. And we're going to test them out now to see how far they go. Playing.
Let's do it.
Perfect timing. And then this evening, we'll be way back over there coyote hunting. If we get anything, I'll be running the camera. We may have an extra video tonight. See you in a minute. And here we go. I'm in the truck. The camera's going to be a little close on me. That window mount, it didn't work real good over there. The mirror was in the way, but this will work. Okay, let me set the trip. That way we'll be able to tell exactly how far we're going. All right, we are on 0. Motorola. Got a copy?
10-4.
What's your 20? What's your 20?
Right behind you.
10-4, I see in the review mirror. All right, let's get about, let me put on my seatbelt here, or else we're going to hear a lot of beeping. We'll get up here about to the, we're only at 1/10 of a mile. You got a copy on the Motorola?
10-4.
Good deal, we're at 1/10 of a mile. Set that over there. Let me find the Uniden. All right, I found it. We're at 2/10 of a mile. Let's test the Uniden. Do you have a copy on the Uniden? Doing good. We're at 2/10 of a mile. And by the way, I don't know if you could tell by the scenery when I pan back, there is nothing out here. It is flat. There's no obstacles, obstructions, so we should be good. Do you got a copy on the Motorola?
That's 10-4.
We're at 3/10 of a mile. Roger that. All right, let's get on up here. We'll get her to a half a mile. All right, we got the Uniden. We're at a half a mile. How you reading me? Awesome. 10-4. Six-tenths of a mile with the Motorola. How you reading? Okay. We're at 7/10 of a mile. Do you have a copy? Okay, as you know, this is the Motorola. I'm going to step out of the truck for a second and see if that'll help. Do you have a copy now? I'm standing outside the truck. Is that any better?
Yes, sir. That's better.
Perfect. Say that again. I'm going to put it in front of the camera.
Yes, sir. That is better. The truck also.
10-4. I'll head on down the road. So, at 7/10 of a mile, the 2-mile range Motorola, if we get out of our vehicles, it does good. So, let's do the Uniden. I'm back in my truck. How are you reading on the Uniden?
Clear and clear.
That's what I'm talking about. We're at 8/10 of a mile. How's the Motorola reading? Okay, I'm going to get out of the truck again. All right, do you read me any better now?
Yes, sir. Seems the Motorola is affected by the truck quite a bit.
Thank you on that. 10-4, I agree. All right. The Motorola, which isn't projected to go as far as this. Once again, 2 mile, 22 mile. At 8/10 of a mile, the Motorola is getting kind of sketchy if I'm in the truck. Now, if I were outside hiking or whatnot, might be a little better. We're at 9/10 of a mile right now. All right, coming in on the Uniden at 9/10 of a mile. How you reading? Did you copy that? All right, we're at 9/10 of a mile. Get out of the truck again. Okay, let's go back to the Motorola. I'm out of the truck. How's it sounding?
Not the same as it did last check, but I can still hear you.
I'm on the Uniden. How does it sound? Okay, I'm standing outside the truck, so I'm going to go up to, we're at 9/10. We're going to take it to a mile. I'm going to get out of the truck and see how it does.
10-4.
Okay. Oh, the door is open. We're going to go to a mile. See how it does. Okay, we're at a mile. Tell you what we'll do. We're just going to go on up to about 1 1/4 mile. I'm going to have to step out of the truck. You got a copy on the Motorola? He doesn't have a copy. Let me step out of the truck. I'm outside the truck at 1.2 miles. How you reading?
Same as last check.
How about the Uniden? I'm outside the truck. Are you copying on the Uniden? Roger that. I'll go on up to the highway, see how we do. Excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to throw these in the seat so I don't drop it to the floorboard again. So, in the vehicle, all right, if you can hear, he's sending call signals, which we can get in the truck. And ideally, I mean, a lot of people would use these in vehicles, I guess, if they're running around a farm or whatnot. But obviously, inside this cab is affecting these radios. We're going to skirt on up here to the highway and see what we got going on here. This is going to put us at 1.5 miles. Okay, take the seatbelt off here for a second. Okay, when we're stopped, we're at 1.5 miles. I'll even turn this, see if it'll face outside a little bit. Let's try again. I'm outside the truck at 1.5 miles. How you reading?
Good. Full fuzzy, but I can hear you.
All right. Don't know if you heard that. He's still coming in. We are on the Uniden. How's it compared to the Motorola at 1.5 miles?
Uniden is way clear. I repeat, way clear.
Yeah, the Uniden's a lot clearer on your end too. I'm going to go ahead and drive up here to on the highway, and I'm going to stop at about 2 miles and see what we got. Wow, big difference. Turn the camera back around. Big difference when you're outside the truck compared to inside the truck. So, tell you what we're going to do. I'll be back in a second because I got to get on the highway up here, and we'll come back and see how it's doing. There's another gravel road over here that's going to take us about 2 miles away, and we'll try it then. We'll see you here in a second. All right, we're back. I am 2.2 miles away. I'll try it from in the truck. I'm on the Uniden, 2.2 miles away, but I'm in the truck. Do you receive anything at all? Okay, he's static. Let me get out of the truck. Okay, I am now out of the truck, 2.2 miles away. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Copy clear.
All right, we're going to try the Motorola. We're on the Motorola, 2.2 miles away, outside the truck. Do you got a copy?
I do have a copy, but it's hard to hear you.
Okay, you're coming in loud and clear on my end. I'm going to skirt down about 2.5 miles to see what we got.
10-4.
All right, I'll be back at 2.5 miles. We're at the 2.5 mile checkpoint. Uniden goes first. I'm going to have to get out of the truck. We're at 2.5 miles outside the truck. You got a copy? Okay, I'm turning the camera around here best I can. Try that again. You were a little staticky. Do you have a copy on the Uniden? Let's try the Motorola. Okay, I'm on the Motorola, 2.5 miles. You got a copy?
No copy on Motorola. It's static. Copy on Uniden.
All right, the Uniden came in clear then. I'm hearing him good on my Motorola. He can't hear me. Let's try it one more time. We're going to give the Motorola one more chance here. You're coming in clear on my end. Is that any better? All right, he's apparently lost. Okay, that's the Uniden you just answered on. So, can you hear me on the Uniden?
I believe maybe one of these wires can affect us.
I do have a few wires around me now. I'm going to call back on the Motorola, see if you have anything at all on the Motorola. Motorola's up. Breaker, breaker, do you hear me?
Got it.
All right, you got me a little bit then. So the Motorola is fading. The Uniden seems to be doing okay. I may skirt out into a field here where there's no highline wires. All right, so the Uniden, which is, get my camera. The Uniden, which is projected to go farther, put my seatbelt on, is staticky. It's certainly not 22 miles. We do have highline wires. I mean, I don't know. We're going to go up here. There's a bridge I can cut across out the field to get away from these highline wires, and we'll see how it does. Be back in a second. Okay, 2.7 miles. I'm out in the field. Kind of got away from the highline wires. See if that makes a difference. Actually, I'm going to turn my truck off to make sure there's no interference there. .7 miles with the Motorola. Do you got a copy?
Sounds pretty good, actually.
All right. That may have made a difference. You can hear my truck beeping, but that's all right. Let's try the Uniden at 2.7. How about the Uniden at 2.7?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
And one other thing I did is I turned my truck off. It may have had some electrical interference. I don't know. I'm going to go on down here past the old Averitt place, go up Mike's Road a little bit, and really get away from the highline wires.
It's harder to hear you than it was when it wasn't.
All right, roger that. I'm going to get way out in the field away from everything. All right. I shall be back. Okay. We're out in the middle of a field. Truck's turned off. Excuse me. You got the hills way over there. Sun's going down. I don't even know if you can see it, but there are some highline wires, but we're not close to them. Kyle is about 3.2 miles that direction. So let's give it a try. We're just going to set this up here. We're going to do the old Motorola. All right, you got a copy?
Barely.
I can hear you clear on my end, but it sounds like I'm a little fuzzy on your end. pick his camera up. So we're a little fuzzy on his end. So how are we coming in on the Uniden? How is it sounding? Let's try it again. Do you got a copy on the Uniden? All right, he's scratchy. Let's try it one more time on the Uniden.
Yeah.
Was it clear?
Yeah.
Trying her one more time on the Motorola. How's it coming through? Do you have a copy with the Motorola? All right. Okay, I just tried to call you on the Motorola. I did not get a response, so I'm assuming you did not get a copy. Are you getting a copy on the Uniden? Well, you got a copy on the Uniden.
Copy.
Did you hear me on the Motorola? Did you hear me on the Motorola? Well, it seems like the Uniden's kind of sketchy here too. When he comes through, it's clear. One more call on the Uniden.
Copy, copy. Copy, copy.
All right, you're loud and clear on my end.
Same on my end.
Okay, give it about 3 seconds. I want to try again with the Motorola. Calling on the Motorola. Do you got a copy on the Motorola? Do you got a copy on the Motorola? Okay, I just tried to call you on the Motorola. Again, no response, so it may be out of range. You still got a copy on the Uniden?
Do you have a copy on Uniden?
Yes, sir. Okay, I think the Motorola's reached its limit at about, really, it was getting sketchy at about 2.5 miles. And we're at 3.2, so we'll go with the Unidens for a minute.
I'm turning my Motorola off, and I can hear you better on Uniden.
Okay, turn your Motorola on just one more time for a second so we can see what we got.
10-4.
Nice sunset. Give him a chance to get the get the Motorola fired up. Do you got the Motorola on?
I do, and now I hear you.
You're coming in loud and clear for a second, then sketchy, so it is getting a signal. So just leave it on for a minute. We're going to try one more time.
Motorola isn't as clear. It's kind of cutting out, but I can make out that there's a voice.
All right, leave it on. You're coming in loud and clear. We're going to truck on down one more test point, about 4 miles, see what we got. So the Motorola, and I don't know if you noticed it when I did the opening video, the Motorola, one of the Motorola he has, the antenna got broke. That may be affecting it. Okay, we'll see you in a second at about, well, we'll do about 4 miles. All right, we're at about 3.6 miles. Hear a train in the background. Out of the truck, and we are really far away from any telephone poles, any obstruction. So let's give it a try. Motorola, 3.6 miles. I'm afraid it's going to be a little sketchy, but let's give it a try. Hey, Kyle, you got a copy on the Motorola?
Yes, 10-4.
Wow, that was loud and clear on my end. How about you? That was loud and clear on my end. Do you got a copy?
Copy. I have a copy.
Let's go with the Uniden while the light is fading. Here we are with the Uniden, 3.5 miles, 3.6. What you got?
Gotcha. Pretty clear.
How was the Motorola? Was it audible?
Not as clear as the Uniden. I could hear you and pick up what you were saying, but
10-4, I'm going to stretch it out to 4 miles. All right, we're at 4 miles. There's a little deal, it's about dark. Well, they just went off. Got to get a shot of the Tacoma, you know what I'm saying? This is Tacoma. About fell down. Love it. All right, back to business. Back to business. Uniden, 4 miles. Here we go. Do you got a copy? Uniden at 4.0 miles. Did you get a copy? I heard a little static on your response.
copy.
Am I coming in loud and clear? There's the train on the tracks. Did I come in loud and clear?
Copy on the Uniden. Nothing on the Motorola.
Okay, I have not tried the Motorola yet. We are trying the Motorola now. Here we go, Motorola. Motorola check. Check in on the Motorola. What you got?
Gotcha.
Wow, that's still pretty clear. Okay, we're going to do one more at about 4.5 miles because I'm coming to the end of the field road.
Yes, sir. You're about to be in a different town.
Yes, sir. I'll holler at you in a minute. I'll let you know. All right, let's give it a try. All right, we're at 4.7 miles. Got the radios here. Let's give it a try. Uniden, here we go, 4.7 miles. Do you got a copy on the Uniden, 4.7 miles? And there is highline wires. As you can see right there, I don't know if that'll make a difference. Try to copy one more time on the Uniden. You got a copy? Let's try the Motorola. How we coming in on the Motorola? One more shot on the Motorola. Let's give it another try on the Uniden. You got a copy? I can just hear static on my end. Okay, well, the Uniden, as we look across the flat scenery, the Uniden did better by a little than the Motorola. Obviously, it's not 22 miles. Little over 4 miles seems to be the magic point for the Motorola. 3.5 miles, so you're getting close to an extra mile out of the Uniden, and this is ideal situations. I mean, it's flat right here. no obstacles. And like I said, maybe the high line wires made a difference. So, you know, it did a little better. So we're going to truck back because we're about 4.5, almost 5 miles, 4.7, almost 5 miles away from Kyle. So we're going to truck back to Kyle here real quick, do a wrap up on this. Okay, we're at 5.5 miles. Thought I'd give it one more shot. Got a little traffic going down the road. Well, there he is. I was near a power grid, so we're going to try it at 5.5 miles. Was that you, Kyle? All right, I'm picking you up. It's scratchy. The first time was clear, but it's a little scratchy on the Uniden. I can still see the power grids over there, but I'm a little bit away from them.
I can hear you pretty decent. I can hear what you're saying anyway.
Yeah, you came in clear that time, so that's pretty darn good. Okay, let's try the Motorola. Gonna try the Motorola. You got a copy on the Motorola? Is there a copy? I think the Motorola's met its match. And hey, it says 2 mile range. It'll guarantee you get that on flat land. One more try on the Motorola. Let's try it on the Uniden. You got a copy on the Uniden? Copy on the Uniden. Well, I think that's a wrap on them. Got him for a second, so I think we met our limits. But hey, pretty interesting. Just wanted to check and see. The Uniden will not get you 22 miles. The Motorola will get you over 2 miles, but the Uniden will outreach the Motorola by a skosh. So hope you enjoyed. One more shot of the beautiful sunset, and I hope y'all have a great evening.